Next installment of the FibAlert settings videos. This is the reversal trade. There's two types of reversal trades, a 5-minute and a 15-minute, okay? Let's talk about the 5-minute reversal trade. What that is basically, you've got a V pattern, and the point of the V is the 5-minute boxes. That's a 5-minute reversal. And then the normal entry is up here. It's at the V point, and then you take this short down. So here's the settings. First, okay, notice there's a 1 and 2. The pattern is usually enough for the trade to work, but if you want more confirmation, I've got this RV5 5-minute cross required setting at false. If you set this to true and you want to take a short trade, the 1 has got to be below the 2. Okay, it won't take it if the 1's above the 2. The 1's got to be below the 2 to take that trade if you got it to true. And all you got to do to set it true is this. Okay, let's bring those back up. All right, I'm going to set it to false because that's how I've got the default setting. But so you would need, if that's set to true, then it would need to look like this. The 1 below the 2. Okay? That's how it would have to look. If it's set to false like I have it, then either way, as long as the pattern's there, you're okay. The other setting is just how many pips to the 15-minute box. All right? This I've got 10. In this case, the 15-minute box is, 30 away. But, we can change that. As long as it's at least 10 pips away, you're fine. 68 to 58. Now, if you've got this higher, say it comes less than 10, it won't enter this trade. All right, so we're getting close to 15-minute 15-minute reversal territory. And here's a 15-minute reversal trade. Basically, it just looks like this. The 15-minute box is the point of the V, hours down here. All right, so the V is up here at the 15-minute. I don't have a reversal required on that because 15-minute, they take a while sometimes to happen. So you'd be waiting a while for the crossover. So I don't have that option on the 15-minute. But you need to know 15-minute, you want at least this many pips back to the 1-minute box. So if you enter here at around 70-ish, then you're going to want at least this to be at 63, the 1-minute box. At least 7 pips, I've got it. You can make it longer. If you want it 10 pips away, make this 100, and then it won't give you a signal until you're, at least 10 pips lower. All right, but the closer this 1-minute box gets up, the more of a chance it has of going against you. So that's why you want to have the proper setting here. Does this require an L7 in the entry? I say no, but if you say yes, then you're going to need an L7, whether it's the 1-minute L7 in the level or a 5-minute, one of the two. All right, so either one is fine. But if you say true, it'll only take 15-minute reversals with L7s in the levels. And those happen a lot, not as often as the regular ones, so you'll get less signals. All right, so that's the reversal. Let's do an extended reversal. The extended reversal is here. Now it's very similar to a reversal trade, with the exception that the extended reversal doesn't pick up the entry at the point of the V. It waits till the next roadblock or the next slow car at all. So as long as you have a reversal pattern, you can say, look, I want the next slow car above it. Okay? Or you can say, I want the next 2-column road car above it, and just change that to 2 if that's what you want. All right, so in this case, you've got it here, it'll enter here because there's at least 2 there, there's 3. So when you get about to 75, it'll hit it. It'll short. Now, it also asks how many pips to the 1-minute box. You want 10. If it gets it at 76 to the 1-minute, 58, that's more than 10, that's almost 20. That's fine. And pips the 5-minute box, in other words, how far above the entry do you want it to get before entering? I say 5. So say I've got this back to 1. Okay. If I've got it back to 1 and there happens to be a 1-minute level right there at 70, it won't enter because it needs to be 5 pips away from the 5-minute box at least before looking for an entry level. So once it gets up to 73, then it'll start looking for a roadblock. All right, and in this case, even if you have it set to 1, it won't enter here because of the 5. It'll enter there though, because now you're more than 5 pips away, and you're at least a 1-car roadblock. You're at a 3-car roadblock. All right, that's the extended reversal. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the preemptive reversal since we're doing all the reversals. Let me bring up. All right, now a preemptive reversal is before it turns into that V shape, so it still looks like a trend. Okay, what you're going to want to see is the 1 minute box is way up. So say this was a trend trade. You know, boom, now it's been floating around. Now what a preemptive reversal is, a reversal is when the 1 minute box is the head of the snake floats below the 5, so you got the V. Well, before it gets down there, the first thing that happens is the 1 falls below the 2. Like that. Now as soon as you have this, you can start thinking about short trades. It's not a short setup, but it's a risky trade I've included in this alert system. But again, it's one of the riskier setups. That's why I've got it preset to false. But it's an interesting trade setup. I've got a maximum gap from the 1 to 5 to 15 pips. So not only do you have to have the 1 below the 2, you need a proper gap to the 5 minute box. 15 pips. Here there's only 14, so that's not going to work. But if the 1 minute box was a little higher, or the 5 minute box was a little lower, 54, and you're at 70, that's a short preemptive reversal trade. All right. Now you can say 20. You can make it, I only want really big gaps because this is a risky trade. Now if I say 20 on here, then this trade won't work. This won't signal, but this one will. Okay, now if I'm at 76, the 1 below the 2, and 20 pips back to the 5 minute box, now we've got a short preemptive RV trade. And that's what that does. Now, the L1L7, I don't have any adjustable settings, okay? It is what it is. There's 5 minute, 15 minute, and 60 minute L1L7s. You either activate these or not. These are highly L1L7 cross trades. We have a lot of videos on the L1L7 cross. This finds those setups and trades them. So you just decide whether you want to give you those alerts or not. The tripod setting, we can look at that one. Tripod is when you have your 60 minute boxes and your 1 minute boxes relatively at the same level. What you get is the 1 below the 2, so we go short. And then you want how many pips, the only adjustable setting is how many pips to the 5 minute box. How big of a gap down here do you want? I put 10, the more the better, the higher the better. But remember, the higher, the less alerts you'll get. But here we've got 20, so this is clearly a good tripod. This would work as long as, even if this was up here at 66, it would still take the trade because I've got 10 pip gap on that. All right. So that's it in a nutshell. That's the basic settings for the FibAlert. If you have the FibAlert, you're probably a member of our trade room. So in our open chat during our trading sessions, you can ask any questions you want about this, and I'll be happy to go over them. But again, this is for a limited time, and I don't know when you're watching this video, but for a limited time, this FibAlert system will be free to all full subscribers to the Tiger time lanes. But again, I don't know when you're watching this video, so that expire could have already passed. But at the time I'm making this video, that is still in effect. All right, so this is Sam Shakespeare signing off. Best of luck to you, and we'll see you on the inside.